guys an update. So did Jonathan. We want to give you guys an update on the national safety standard that's been worked on for the last 3+ years. And this safety standards number is UL 8400. The idea of this safety standard is to address some of the issues and common problems that occur with AR, VR, MR equipment, so the actual physical equipment that is being worn. I've been a member of UL Solutions for close to 20 years, and Jonathan's been a member of Magic Leap for close to 10 years. So both of us have a good amount of experience in product safety, product evaluation, and safety standards. So what's involved in developing a safety standard? What's involved is number of organizations have to get together and start to look at what's going to be the requirements, what's going to be the way in which to assess the product. And the things that get looked at are various potential foreseeable misuse conditions, as well as potential normal operation conditions. And what happened is these organizations that are on the page here, it's roughly 30 organizations, they all took part in the last 3 years in developing UL 8400. The great news is UL 8400 got published on April 28th. So that's after consensus was achieved. Consensus was actually achieved last August, but there was a few comments that came in from some of those that voted no. And then it went for a reballot at the start of the year. And during the recirculation ballot, a number of the no votes changed to yes. So the final vote was 23 yeses, 4 no's, and 3 that didn't submit their vote. So that's not uncommon that somebody would not submit a vote. Sometimes they're on the fence. They don't want to vote yes. They don't want to vote no. But that is a good turnout that 23 organizations voted yes. Jonathan, your turn.
Thanks, Ibrahim. Sorry for having a little bit of technical issue here, but definitely been a pleasure to be part of UL 8400. And what I wanted to show here on the slides and kind of the need for UL 8400 and safety in the marketplace with the devices are, here are 2 pictures just to show, products that are currently on the market in their expanded view. They don't go into detail, but you can just see from the exploded view, the amount of technology that is put into this head mounted device. And if you go to the next slide, Ibrahim, this is more specifically the Magic Leap 2 device, which of course I'm very familiar with. As you can see here, we have a total of 18 different sensors that are now worn on the head. And from a regulatory and compliance standpoint, this is a big concern on how do I take our existing standard portfolio that out there and apply these to this current technology. And that's where UL 8400 has come in and been able to fill the gaps for us as we kind of move forward and do our job, which our job is to provide the safest device that we can, provide to our customer. And in just kind of a run through, you can see different areas. We have cameras, we have altimeters, we have magnetometers, we have lasers, we have IR LEDs. So you can just think of all the different things from heat, from radiation to just, electrical aspects that are all now this intimately close to the user's head, which then begs the need for what do we do to this? How do we address these things? And which was the need to kind of move forward with UL 8400. Okay, so here, this is a great slide to kind of to segue into, which really talks about some of the aspects that are dealt with UL 8400. From a compliance standpoint, at least from our team, as we look at our device, and of course, every device from a VR, AR has different work streams. But for ours, we have 15 different work streams from from RF to SAR to EMC to electrical safety, radiation, all these different things that we look at. And so we have a very robust portfolio. But then again, when we look at them, there's gaps, right? There's gaps that appear on now that technology is intimately close to the user's head. What are some of the new risks and what are some of the new challenges? Then also we have a device, right? In the market, we have the visual aspect of the device, which traditionally there's been things like goggles and different things, which are, static devices. Now we have an active, an electrified, a dynamic device that brings new issues, especially around, optical issues, the interaction with the user from a physiological standpoint that are all new to us. And that was the aspect that we tried to address with UL 8400 to look at from the user. What are the things from the visual perception, things from biocompatibility or skin compatibility? Now we have these devices that are intimately in contact with the user in areas that tend to be a lot more susceptible to potential biocompatibility issues from a material. All the heat that's generated, the thermal that's generated, the radiation aspects that are all now generated close to the device. Also, when you look at devices, in the potential weight, right? Devices are developed different. Some manufacturers have everything on the headset. Other ones, like Magic Leap, we break it down into a compute pack that's mounted on the belt and the headwear. But what are the things now from a biomechanical standpoint that we need to be aware of, and the stress on the neck and the user, things that we need to be very cautious of. Also bring in the aspects of visual from obstructions. A lot of the use of the devices are done to be in a standstill, but we're starting to push those limits. And what do we do if we have the user walk around? How are they aware? What type of warnings? This standard brings in a lot of risk-based assessment because everybody's a little different. That was one of the challenges of the standard, is that we have VR and we have AR, and everybody has a little bit different requirements. So part of the standard is for the company to go through and make an assessment, look at their risks, and from those risks in the standard, determine their pathway, determine their things that need to be done. Specifically around warnings and different use cases that we're going to be addressing, age groups, things along that line. So there's just a vast area of things that were part of UL 8400 to help plug gaps as we start this journey in this new area of technology. Now, UL 8400 is the journey was great, but we're at a starting point, right? We put down a lot of great information, some informative, some more with acceptance criteria, but this is a starting point that will grow as we get more data, we get more information to really make this a robust standard to be able to bring further safety to the end user.
Thank you, John. I know we're having trouble that he can't hear me, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. I just want to appreciate that John took the journey with us. He actually was so involved in the 8400 standard development where before the process even started, he and I sat down in a restaurant sometime in 2019 talking about the need in this industry for the virtual reality equipment, the augmented reality, and the mixed reality equipment, that each one is trying to do different compliance packages, and everybody is defining their safety profile differently. So that work to get to a published national standard, and you saw how many organizations are involved, it is a big undertaking, and it's a major milestone and accomplishment for our industry. So I really do appreciate Jonathan on that. And now I'm going to give him a chance to share a story about his work and what they just accomplished actually this past week. So I'm going to turn it back over to John. I'm going to give him the thumbs up in just a second.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Sorry, a little bit on the exchange there a little bit, but in this journey from Magically, very proud to be part of the technical group and with many great other manufacturers, as well as academia, people in the research, other people that involved it. And I think one of the proudest thing I am is for Magic Leap to kind of take that flag and push the standard forward. And excited that, yes, last week, Magic Leap received the first certification to UL 8400. Which is, kudos and great work to my team and the people within Magic Leap to make this available, as well as the work with UL and the test lab to get this done. So very excited about our opportunity to push the standard forward and to receive certification to it. And also very excited about what this brings to the user to give them more of more of a feeling of safety in our device, as well as other people as they come on board as well. And I think this is a great thing for the industry as a whole. And again, super proud for Magic Leap to taking the first step with this and to push the standard forward, and looking very much for the continuation of the standard to continue and grow as the marketplace grows. So I appreciate UL for this opportunity, and it's been a great experience. I look forward to continuing this.
And so just on my side, to share the journey with Jonathan, it is not easy to get through a certification. As he's a manufacturer, they've spent all the time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears to make their product. But from my side, I have the responsibility, and the engineers in my company have the responsibility to look at the product with a fresh pair of eyes, to be independent, to be impartial, to have integrity, to look at this product and say, okay, does it comply clause by clause with what the published standard has said? And that requires us looking at it clause by clause. That requires us running the testing, and if there's non-compliances, we have to discuss it with the manufacturer. So I do appreciate the commitment on Magic Leap side, the personal investment from Jonathan's side to see certification through. And this is actually what we should be expecting from all the manufacturers that make equipment. The VRAR Association as an industry, it's a bunch of commercial end users. You do not want to have any risk that could be prevented by having had a certified product be applied to you. If something has the wrong lasers or the wrong materials or the wrong biocompatibility, there's lots of things that could have been there to have helped you be safer as a user. And that's the whole point of V400 safety certification. So from my side, that's the story on UL 8400 in a nutshell. It was 3.5 years of work. It got published. There are some really strong requirements for various aspects of this design. And we have more information at ul.com/VRAR for those that are